before my previous films, I had a lot of like bluegrass influence. I've had jazz influences, and majority of that was folk influence because I love folk music, and which is something I never thought I would like because I only knew folk music through film music. Ilayaraja is something that I'm very proud of when it comes to Tamil music. It might be the most cliche answer, but I have different reasons as a composer to like Ilayaraja's music because I think before Ilayaraja there used to be a lot of classical influence.
Welcome, Sean Roldan, to not just an interview by Cinema Express, the cinema division of the New Indian Express. Hi. So this week you've got 2 releases lined up.
Yes.
Does that happen to you a lot?
Doesn't happen to me a lot. I think I'm very happy. Both the films are very contrasting films. So very happy that
Are they? Because from the promos at least both of them seemed rather, if I can put it that way, commercial in nature.
Yeah, both are commercial films, but both the films travel with a different mood. For example, Kadanayagan is an out and out comedy film.
I see.
But Neripada is a very entertaining action / thriller kind of a film. So
Okay. How would you say your music for both films? How have you approached your music for both these films?
The music for both the films, the way that I have approached for both the films is what the films require.
Right.
So in earlier days when you heard the album, you would know what to expect from a film. So I just wanted to represent what the film is, speaking about in the rightest way possible.
So do you set out to achieve a certain goal before you start to conceive? I mean, before you start to make music for a film?
I really don't.
Or do you go by various situations and what they?
I just roll with the script. I like to think myself more as a film composer than a standalone single music producer or something like that. Because there are other platforms to do it. Since both these films are commercial in nature and they are trying to sell something, and they are here to entertain. So whatever the script asks, I just do that. Even in other films, I've done the same things.
Right, and I'm guessing both scripts follow the usual 5-song template, do they?
5 songs, 4 to 5 songs more or less. Yeah.
Right. What's your take on? I mean, now more than ever, there's a lot of conversation about how essential songs are for a film, and there are some directors like Vetrimaran who are sort of making films without conventional.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I think. See, film is it's a mainstream medium where everything meets. People from all walks of life, people who have been influenced by different things. Everybody can, express themselves in that medium. So, so that way, I think the newer, more unconventional films, small films which are, made in a very good way with great content. I think those films are also, getting a place here. Like in Bollywood, you distinctly have both these, commercial films and small films doing really well. So I think it's a very healthy trend. It should be that way.
Right.
If you ask me personally.
So when a director approaches you for a script that does not have a place for songs, for example, do you think, there's a big window of work that I will not be able to do for that film.
Alright, but if the film has a great scope, if it's a really good script, I would definitely love to do a film without songs.
Right.
Yeah. Right. It really depends on the film. See, if
it doesn't take away from the publicity that a composer gets for a film.
I'm not really keen on publicity. See, I'm in this for the love of it. Right. Having said that, I'm not too religious about pure films, or I don't go to a crusade for pure films or anything like that. I think everybody has a right to make what they want, and if that is justified, I think it can be made. Those things can.
But you're not more satisfied with a certain variety of film than another.
Yeah, because there are films like Joker, which really don't follow this mainstream pattern, and they're very bold films. So there are reasons why people watch films. See, when superstars films come, it's more for superstar than the director, right? So there are director films, there are hero films, we only created these these things. So I think whatever works. I mean, if we have always supported good things, and we have not necessarily supported something that's bad. So coming to look of it that way, I think it's really up to the people. I mean, we never thought Joker would be such a big hit. We always knew that it will be a great film. It will do well. It will get a good press and all that. But we really thought we got overwhelming success. So this is clear proof that when somebody wants to make something that they believe in, and when they're very bold about it, and when they're also cinema educated, and as artists, when they have a conscience, definitely it works. Vetrimaran sir's films work.
Right. Before we start talking about Kadanayagan and Nerupada, I want to tell you that I am a big admirer of your work in Pavapandi. I genuinely thought that all the songs, the songs of the film reminded me of Ilayaraja when he was in form. And because your style was so reminiscent of that composer, for me at least, and I hope that it was for the vast majority of people who like the music. And I think it worked so well because the story was also about a person from that era. What about you? Is your style very influenced by that composer? Because I have a lot of people telling me that. Do you see where these comparisons stem from?
I am not surprised because Ilayaraja-like music was what we tried to achieve, and we wanted for the film. Yes, right. It was absolutely inspired from Raja stuff, and I also like to think it's original. Venpani Malare and Paathen, these have strong composition value. I shouldn't say all this, but I can't deny that they are good compositions as well.
Right.
So, and they're not very they're very simple songs.
Is that because of a mutual admiration you and Dhanush have for the
composer? Definitely. That had a lot to do with how the songs came out. And see, when you
there was also a nasal twang that added to the vocals as well, right?
Yes, it's something we love. See, Ilayaraja is something that I'm very proud of when it comes to Tamil music. It might be the most cliche answer, but I have different reasons as a composer to like Ilayaraja's music, because I think before Ilayaraja there used to be a lot of classical influence in film music. There have been legends like G. Ramanathan, K.V. Mahadevan, and then came MSV. He broke certain rules. He changed the game, and he brought a lot of European influence, Latin influence into the music. Right. And I think when Ilayaraja came, I think he gave an identity to Tamil music. It said it all. So for a majority of Tamil audience, I think that is what they related to. I mean, somebody somewhere in a village could listen to that song and they could think like, oh, this is my music.
Because even the arrangements were very simplistic.
Yes, and I was just trying to test new artists because before in my previous films I had a lot of like bluegrass influence. I've had jazz influences, and majority of that was folk influence because I love folk music, and which is something I never thought I would like, because I only knew folk music through film music. But when I met some actual folk musicians who are singing on streets and who are actually doing these shows and all that, I had a chance to perform with them. So then I understood folk music is actually this whole new different thing when you hear it live and when you hear it from a film, because not all folk numbers are necessarily dance numbers. Folk music has so much variety. It has love, it has friendship, it has all work, because it comes majorly from folklore, right? So it has a lot of emotion to it, a lot of nativity. So I think we all relate to that. Nobody can say, the song Paathen has a lot of that, somebody in Trichy bus can think that it is their music. Right. That was what we tried to achieve.
Right.
So everybody in
And even otherwise, I feel like most of your songs have a certain folkish vocal quality, if I can put that.
Yes, because I was very deeply influenced by the folk melody. So even when I sing,
because some of the singers don't sound like conventional singers, if you know what I'm saying.
I don't understand.
Okay, say there is a perfection that you usually associate with playback singers.
Exactly. Right? Yeah, that is. I also respect that, but personally, what I like is when the music is honest.
Right.
Like Bob Dylan didn't have the perfect voice, but the songs he wrote and the way he sang them, there was some honesty in it.
Right.
and when he said those words, you know they were true. So I think words have a lot to do with music. It's not just about, you know, making them very clean and pretty sounding and all that. It's just a philosophy. See, some people see beauty in everything.
So even if you feel like a singer is trying, I mean, isn't quite able to match a pitch, for example, when the strain shows in a song, that's not a problem for you.
That is not a problem for me at all, because
I think I noticed that in a Power Pandey song.
Yes.
Right, that commercial. I mean, I don't want to say commercial bit, but that bit where you know that comes in every time there is a mass moment in the film.
Which one?
I forget the name of the song.
That one.
Right, that's the one.
Right,
that's the one.
right.
That's the one.
And another important thing is that Anthony Dasan, who sang with me in that song, is my biggest inspiration for my singing. So I derived a lot of, you know, expressions from his singing, and because I also sing the blues, all these things just happened to come together. I didn't intentionally do it because I'm very brilliant or anything.
So when an album like Power Pandey does so well, when all the songs are so spoken about, is there a temptation to probably go down that road again?
I would definitely love to, and I think I'm now I'm 10 films old now. Yes, I'm 10 films old. I think I can. The reason I was consistently doing small films and trying different things. I mean, the most convenient thing is to safely do what you're good at and just be done with it.
Right.
But I don't think that's convenient enough for me. I think I should test new waters, you know, take more risks, try newer things when I can do it.
So you're saying Ilaiyaraaja is but one of the many influences of your music, not the main inspiration.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the main influence, because you know, if you hear Munda Sapati or Vaayamudi Pesam, they are very, very, very different albums. So I would owe it to the fact that I've listened to a lot of music. I listen to more music than I actually. So my mother once told me that I had to practice for 2 hours. So then I practiced for 2 hours. She said, "You're not listening to any music." I said, "I just practice for 2 hours." She'll be like, "No, for every 2 hours you practice, you have to listen to music for 4 hours."
I guess that's a lot like how they tell writers that you have to read a lot.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Right.
So only when stuff goes in, it comes out, right? So I'd like to see it as a, see, that's what I don't want to settle anywhere. I think an artist cannot be comfortable in one place. He has to keep moving like a nomad, you know. So I want to try different things. I think for a time it may seem like, okay, he did Power Pandey. Oh, okay, suddenly he's doing something else. It may seem like that, but I think every composer has gone through that. Even A.R. Rahman sir has done that. I think he has tried a lot of different things, and a lot of criticism also came initially. But I think once you don't cross that, I think you're just comfortable where you're sitting and you're just going to get bored. Right. So I don't want to do that. But certainly I would love to do something like Power Pandey again. Because
right. I asked you that because I wanted to know what your reactions were to how people responded to VIP2's music generally.
I think all opinions matter. And I did what was necessary for the film. And definitely a sequel is not easy. I mean, it can be easily judged. So given the
especially when the first film was as successful.
Yeah, it was it's called, and I'm sure it was not an intended one. I think no success is written on paper, you know, quantified, and success doesn't come that way. You know, because VIP1 was honestly a success. Like, people celebrated it, and it came from a very true thought. And you know, I'm sure, because I worked with Dhanush sir on a couple of films, so I understand how that magic would have happened. So it all happens very fast. So when you have a first part that is so easily the most celebrated film of that year, and I think VIP bagged all the awards for that year. I was also there when all that happened, and I myself am a big fan of the film. But I think a lot of people confuse VIP1 with VIP2 because VIP1 is not VIP2. VIP2 is an extension of VIP1, and the film needs what it needs.
But to a certain extent, it seemed to me that the second film did follow the template of the first, as far as storytelling is concerned.
Yes, but there were complaints that it should be as good as the first film, and by good, if people mean, it has to be exactly like the first film, then I don't think that is justified. And we also, I think we tend, of late I've been seeing a pattern where we just take things very personally. I mean, from
How do you mean?
I mean, audience generally they take things very personally, and no matter how much you do, it's not going to satisfy. So, for example, Anirudh is my friend.
Right.
He's very close to me.
Right, you guys work together all the time.
We work together. We have a good time together and all that. But what he did for VIP2, I don't think it's possible to recreate that magic. It is definitely not possible.
For VIP1.
So, what he did for VIP1,
Yes.
because I know how much hard work we have put into the album. I know how much we have worked on it. And sometimes when you're inside of it, it is not very easy to gauge how much the expectation is going to be. For example, when the teaser released, we didn't know it was going to be, it just went like a wildfire, right? We never expected that.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say here is any sequel is difficult to pull off, and especially when you're a composer with a contrasting
So
style.
are you saying that you guys sort of underestimated the reach of the second film and probably...
We didn't underestimate it. We just never expected it to be this crazy. Like, personally, I didn't. I can't speak for others, but I never.
In hindsight, would that have prompted you to make a different type of music for the film? Now that you realize what...
For VIP2, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, see, when we started VIP2, we were very clear that it had to be a very neat film. It had to be like, it need not, have all the so-called conventional commercial elements that everyone expects to have in a hero film. So these were decisions that were made. We were very clear, and we were also expecting comparisons. So I kind of understood why that happened also. I'm in this side of the perception.
Right.
Audience are on that side of the perception.
Right.
They will have their justifications, I'll have mine. But end of the day, what people feel is what people feel, and the film is a success. And the majority of people have accepted the music and have said that it's very good. Yes, they have. Yes. And the producers are happy. The people I worked with are happy. So I don't think it is right for me to feel confused or anything. I think I can have the clarity that I have. I think what works is what works. I can't control the perception of a million people, which is even, nobody can do that.
I found it very interesting when you said that people seem to take these things very personally. And I'm sort of trying to understand what...
It's a psychological, like Anirudh was loved for VIP1, right?
He was. Yes.
He was absolutely loved. So, even though I was loved for Power Pandi,
You were, yes.
I was hated by certain groups for VIP2, which I understand. I totally understand. It's all, if I may quote the Beatles, nobody's gonna like Yoko. I'm not saying I'm Yoko. I didn't do anything.
Right.
But I'm just saying that it's, I think our people are sentimental people. They once they accept you, they really love you. But sometimes
allow me to read between the lines. You're saying that when people say, for example, are unable to enjoy a certain type of music, given that they got used to a certain type of music in the first film, maybe they should express themselves in less hostile way. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not. I don't have a problem with the way they express themselves or anything. I think I have to take it. I have to understand it. I think it's very important that I care about this.
As an artist, it must not be very easy to...
It's not at all easy. I mean, it may look very easy, but see, I started from here at the bottom. So I've seen some things. I've really worked.
Because this was supposed to be your big foray into big budget films.
Yes. It was. And we really worked hard on it, which is something I can't deny. And there are times when...
I'm just going to cut straight to the chase here. Where do you think it went wrong, musically?
It didn't go wrong.
No. Okay.
It didn't go wrong. It never went wrong. I can stand by it. I can stand by my work. I can stand by what I've done. But when a majority of people feel a certain way, or a minority of people feel a certain way, or even people are mean to you, I think it's better to just face it than argue about it, or reacting to it. Or obviously, it's upsetting because, see, you will only be upset when you have done something for a film. If you have not worked so hard, you will not be upset. So, but it's better to just take the... See, I know what composition of
No. When I asked you what do you think went wrong, I'm trying to understand if you understand why people did not. The ones who did not like the music, do you have an understanding of why they probably did not? Do you try to get where the difference was?
No, it's
because clearly, as far as you were concerned, you did the best that you could. You're standing by your work and you're saying, hey, we got together, the producers are happy, Dhanush was happy, we came up with a certain type of work. But these people didn't get it. Do you get why these people didn't get it?
It's a perceptive problem. I totally get it.
Right.
I'm very clear about it from the day one, because when we have decided to see things a certain way, we just see it that way. When you like to think you're a good person, you can be oblivious to all the stupid things that you're doing.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that you're a good person. You're just delusional of being good. Right. So you just have delusion of being good. So I'm just saying that even I have that. See, when it comes to my music, I try not to be like that. I try not to be emotional about my music, because I have to see it from a distance. See, when a painter paints so close to when he's painting on a wall or something, when you're painting too close to the wall, sometimes you don't see it as a whole, right? So I know what my perception can do to me. Right. I cannot go and fix the perception of some other people who are anyway, they have decided that they don't like it. So I'm not going to force them to change their mind. What I can do is, I can accept it because it's an opinion. See, everybody has a right to express what they like. A lot of people expressed how good it is. So I also have to take that, right? So I have to take both. For every film, it will be there. There are people, when Power Pandya album released, the playlist was 18 minutes, 20 minutes long?
Right.
So in 1.5 minutes, people, I saw comments where they started saying, the part it's not good. So these things come. And especially when you are going to a bigger place, I think these things try to rattle you, but I think you have to be strong, face it and just move on.
Are you developing a lot of strength, or is that something that
I think I am strong.
Right.
See, this is the first time everybody is seeing me put down by a certain group of people in social media, but I've seen a lot of this because I used to play on the streets. I never needed a stage to play music. So I can still do that. So because I come from nothing, because when I decided I wanted to do independent music, everybody told me I was crazy. Today it is a very popular term, but when me and Pradeep and Santosh, all of us started, everybody thought we were crazy. So we were thought crazy, right? But why will we be here after 4-5 years? So I know what perception does. I know people look back and say that, oh, this was actually good.
Right.
So when certain people are so adamant to hate it, and I don't see a genuine reason to hate it. See, when you're saying something's not good, you need to have a reason, right? But you're so obsessed with the fact that it's not so good. So I don't believe it. I feel it's biased. So, when a person is saying something to you, when they're expressing themselves to you, you can easily say whether the opinion is coming from a place of strength or vulnerability. Right. So I see a lot of vulnerability in these abusive comments. Right. So I feel pity for people who take it so personally.
You mentioned that after the release of Power Pandey's audio, you saw some of these comments. So I'm tempted to ask you if you generally scroll through the comments of
from time to time. Yeah. Generally, because when you're sitting on the playlist, when it's releasing, you read the first couple of comments, right? And then of course people keep commenting and you don't look into it. So.
Does it have any use at all? You are scrolling through
their opinions. I don't disrespect them, but I don't have to respect them as well. They just, I leave them to what they are. See, even sometimes.
So what do you get out of it?
I just look at it. Oh, okay. It's more of a casual thing than, but having said that, I have had some people, personally inbox me who have followed my work and who tell me sometimes that, hey, you can do this. Why don't you do this? This is good. So that I can take it as and I have some friends who just tell on my face, even though the whole world likes it, they will be like, no, this is not your best. So, see, these are all opinions, and I try to respect them as much as I can.
And it seems to me that in some of these comments, we are traditionally used to seeing fans of rival actors sort of take each other on, right? But now I'm also seeing fans of composers sort of taking each other on. I see a school of fans for Santosh Narayan, I see a school of fans for you, for Anirudh. Given how closely you all work with each other.
I think we need more employment in this country. I think more people need to buckle up and get on with their lives. I think this is a sad thing, see.
Because some of these
even if people celebrate you for it, I think, see, I'm not a confused Indian. I think, this social media, there is I see psychologically crippled individuals, just, bursting out with emotions on social media, which in one way I think is good for them. But it's making the social media space a very negative one. But we have to expect it. I mean, it's full of people. What I'm trying to say here is, I think these are not credible. See, when a journalist says it, when someone like Bharadwaj Rangan says it, or when a journalist who's really working his ass off to make an unbiased judgment says it, that is definitely constructive criticism. And we all know that reviews actually influence the business of a film today.
Nice to know that.
So it's better that an artist would love it if it comes from a credible source. That's what I'm saying here. So when you think you can review a film after watching it, the next film, when you watch a film, you think you can review it after a minute is a disturbing thought, right? I mean, sometimes you need films to sink in. For like when I saw Iruvar, I needed a couple of days to digest the film. I just couldn't say. If somebody asked me a minute after, what did you feel about the film? No, I have to think about it.
Right, I understand.
So that's what I'm saying here.
No, where I was arriving at, when all these people take up champions, right? When they decide to argue for a certain person, when they decide to, defend their hero, right? They don't seem to get that Sean Roldan sings for Santosh Narayanan and Anirudh sings for Sean Roldan. They seem to underestimate the level of camaraderie that seems to exist between all of you.
I think the same goes for actors as well, because everybody has a good camaraderie going. In fact, I would like to think of Tamil cinema as it's a very close-knit family. Everybody knows each other.
In both this week's releases, you have Anirudh singing a song.
He sang a song for me as well.
Right.
And I even in my dreams, I never thought both the films will release at the same time. No. Because I started both the films at different timelines, and they ended up releasing on the same date, which is a good thing. And I think Anirudh, as a singer, has a lot of positivity, brings great energy to the songs when he sings. So it's a good thing. I guess it's worked out for the best.
And from, I heard the songs of Kadanayagan, and it generally seems reflective of a very happy, upbeat album.
Yes. Kadanayagan is actually a very, very light-hearted, funny film. And I would also say it's a very wacky, quirky, entertaining film. So it is a comedy film.
Right.
And so whatever the film required, and we also tried to get Mukesh to sing one of the songs, Tappu Tippu. So that is a very that song has a very interesting situation in the film. So it's all very experimental, very new age, like you said, not so subtle on the face.
Right. Is that the same for both these films? Not so subtle in your face?
Not so much in your face for Neripada. Neripada has a variety of songs.
Right.
And it has a variety of, it has a good mix of genres.
Right.
So that way I feel it's a
There's a song in Neripada, Alangiliye, if I'm not wrong, that you've sung.
Yes.
Right. How do you decide what songs you should sing? I've always wondered this of composers. When do you guys decide that this is something that I should be singing?
Actually, for me, it's not at all that way. I don't choose songs like that. The thing is, Alangiliye was written by Yoga Bharati sir.
Right.
And Shweta Mohan has done the female vocals in the song.
Yes.
So sometimes when we do the scratch, for example, I choose what songs I have to do because there is another guy called Raviji who has sung.
Okay.
He works with me.
Right.
He has sung another song. So we both do the scratches, and sometimes I get my friends to sing scratches because when I sing something, I'll be biased by it. I think everybody gets used to it, and everybody will say this has to be the final song because there is a problem. In Rasa Magarasa also, I had the similar problem. I had someone else in mind, but I sang the song because I thought I could be the best track singer to communicate how the song will, because everybody will need an idea of how the final output is going to be, or a taste of it, or a taste of how good it's going to be. So it is based on that I choose to sing even a scratch for a film. So sometimes when I sing the scratch, people just get used to it and they say this has to be the final version. So sometimes I agree, sometimes I don't. I change it.
But it's never because you want to do it. It's usually because somebody else makes you want to.
Otherwise I can sing all the songs in my films.
Right.
But I think I like all the singers actually here. I have to say about the kind of talent here we have in Chennai. We have a lot of.
But these days you guys seem to be singing a lot of your songs. You, Anirudh, say for example.
I mean, I sing some of my songs.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. So there's an increasing number of songs that are now being sung by either the composers or maybe by actors like Dhanush, for example.
Yes.
Right.
But I think I also.
Does that have? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but does that have something to do with some of your music being tolerant of these not so perfect voices?
Yeah, I mean that's one way of looking at it. But the way I look at it is, it just happens in the moment for me. So, coming to singers, yes, I would definitely use. I have used mainstream singers like Haricharan, Alap earlier in my albums. I have used cleaner voices, but it can change from time to time for me. It is not an ideal that I follow. While I would love, I have a soft corner for unconventional voices.
Right.
I also like conventional voices. I don't buy. So this is where I keep coming back to the same thing. Because I like something doesn't mean I hate another thing. Absolutely. Or I hate its opposite.
Thank you very much for having this conversation with us.
Thank you so much. I think even I had a good time.
Thank you very much.
It was very informal, very nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.